Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking on this Rank the Movies video. We are in week 4 of movies I hate, but I've decided to rewatch and give a re-review for. So we've covered 3 movies so far. We've talked about the horrible movie Savages by Oliver Stone, the disastrous disaster film San Andreas starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the horrible found footage movie that is Chronicle. This week we move into comedy. What could be wrong? How can you screw up comedy? All you're trying to do is make people laugh. Create a comedy that makes no one laugh. That's not quite true, but it's pretty true. So, what I've got for us today is, well, I'm just going to go straight. It's movie 43. I'm going to talk about movie 43 because this is a giant piece of crap. So, I like sketch comedy movies. I like the Kentucky Fried Movie. Amazon Women on the Moon isn't bad. And, anthology films are always fun. Those are more horror movies, but it's still the same idea. So when movie 43 was coming out, I'm like, man, I want to see a good movie that's like, I want to see a new version of the Kentucky Fried Movie. Yeah! And then me and my friends went and saw it opening night. And it was bad. It was a horrible experience, and I never wanted to watch this piece of garbage again until I started doing this review show, and now I just watched it again. But yeah, it wants to be the Kentucky Fried Movie, but it's not. It fails at catching the nuances of it because it decided to be way more focused on, we have celebrities! I mean, look at this. Look at how many people they got to be in the sketches in this movie. You have Elizabeth Banks, Christian Bell, Halle Berry, Kate Bosworth, Gerard Butler, Bobby Cannavalo, Josh Duhamel, Anna Faris, Richard Gere, Tracy Howard, Hugh Jackman, Johnny Knoxville, Justin Long, Christopher Mintz-Plaza, Chloe Grace Moretz, Levi Schrober, Sean William Scott, Emma Stone, Naomi Watts, Kate Winslet. Also, Chris Pratt is in this. He's not on the cover because this is before Guardians of the Galaxy, but Chris Pratt is in this. James Gunn directed one of the segments. You also have, there's some other people in there that I saw who aren't on, this case. I believe, I can't think of the actor's name now, but he was in We're the Millers. He was the main guy. And I actually do like him as an actor, and I like his voice. But his name completely, I'm blanking on it now. I am blanking on his name. But he's also in it, and again, he would go on to become, because of We're the Millers, he'd go on to be a bigger star as well. So there's a lot of people in this movie. And it's just bad. It's from start to finish bad. And for you, my viewers, I watched the deleted scene that's on here, and I scanned through the alternate version to watch the other wraparound story that this movie offers. There's one other deleted scene, but I was unable to find it, starring Anton Yelchin, called The Apprentice. I wasn't able to find it. So before I dive into the movie, I guess I'll talk about the deleted scene, why there was a deleted scene. Apparently, the studio wouldn't let them have these scenes in. The Anton, I can say what it is. I haven't watched it, so I can't speak of how good it is. All I know is that it's Anton Yelchin, rest in peace. He is a morgue attendant who is a necrophiliac. He has sex with a corpse, and the corpse comes back to life because of him having sex. There's news reports, everything else done, because he's brought this person back to life. Everybody wants to know how, and that's the comedy. The comedy is he sexed it to life. I didn't get to watch it, so I can't say the quality was. The other one is called Find Our Daughter, and it features Julianne Moore and Tony Shalhoub. And Bob Odenkirk lends his voice to this. It is about a private investigator who is filming a pair of parents who are asking him to locate their daughter because they saw her on a Girls Gone Wild video where she flashed the camera, and then you find out she's always just flashing. Like, in every picture they show, it's her with her top up, and this is something that you would see in the Kentucky Fried Movie, except it would have been done less crassy, because it's like the father's leering at his daughter, and like that's what Tony Shalhoub is doing, and it just gets really weird and unnecessary. It gets unnecessarily weird for the joke, which is she's always flashing the camera. That's the joke. So it's just unnecessarily weird for that joke. And the wraparound story that was deleted and changed, and I'll get into the one that was used in the movie. This one was used in the UK version and is on the Blu-ray as a special feature. You can watch the movie with this other wraparound story. It is about a pair of teenage boys who are tricked into thinking that a video they posted to YouTube got a ton of likes by one of the teens' younger brother. So they trick him back by telling him that they need help finding the rarest movie on Earth called Movie 43, which they make up off the top of their head. He then begins a search while his brother takes his laptop and goes into the bathroom to fill it full of viruses by watching porn. Which includes a striptease by his mom, but he can't see her face, and that plays into it later. And you find out Movie 43 is real, and it's supposed to predict the future, and it's a post-apocalyptic future that is caused by the events of this. It's not great. It's a better wraparound story than what we get in the theatrical version, I think. It has no actors of note, except Fisher Stevens, I think, plays someone in there. He was credited. I didn't notice him, but I guess he played one of the characters. So we get more actors of note in the US version, but it is, one, because they're looking for Movie 43. So at least it makes sense why it's called Movie 43. But yeah, so that's the UK wraparound. So let's dig into the American version as best we can, because this is a comedy of shorts. So I'll touch a little bit on each short as they pop up. Let's start with the wraparound story, which is called The Pitch. Randy Quaid, who again is not on the cover. Like, why wouldn't you put Randy Quaid on the cover? Like, Randy Quaid's a bit... I think this is because they wanted this to be a poster they could use in both the US and UK, and Randy Quaid's not in the UK version. Anyways, Randy Quaid plays a Hollywood director who's trying to pitch a movie. He's pitching it to Greg Kinnear, who is the executive who can buy the movie. Who's also, again, not labeled on there, but he's a fairly big actor in this movie. Greg Kinnear, and he's just hearing the pitches. That's all the beginning of this wraparound is. As it moves on, you find out Randy Quaid didn't have an appointment. He just snuck onto the lot by forcefully fellatiating the security guard. And he's now holding Greg Kinnear hostage with a gun. He has to go ask his boss, who's played by Common, who's trying to get Seth MacFarlane to sell them a movie or a TV show. And he ends up being belittled by Greg Kinnear gets belittled by his boss to the point that he ends up taking the gun and trying to force his boss to fellatiate the security guard as well, who's played by Will Sasso. And then it all turns into, oh, this was all just part of the movie! And then it's all just actors acting, and they should just give up and just run the last sketch. Ha 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 ha! It's not funny. It's not interesting. And you keep coming back to it. It's not funny, it's not interesting, you keep coming back to it. So let's get into the actual segments of this movie. It opens up with the first segment shot, because this movie took 4 years to shoot, to get all these actors together to shoot each individual segment. So it took them 4 years to make this steaming pile of shit. The first segment is Kate, and it's not Naomi Watts, is it? No, it might be. It must be. All right, it's got to be Naomi Watts. I thought it was Cate Blanchett, but I don't see her. Oh no, Kate Winslet. I was right. It's Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet and Hugh Jackman go on a blind date. And you find out that Hugh Jackman has a scrotum hanging out of his neck. And this makes Kate Winslet, because no one else seems to care. Because why would you? It's a scrotum out of his neck. Whatever, who cares? In 2021 logic, this is a really bad sketch, because it's all about her wondering why people aren't signaling out this one thing about this guy who's supposed to be rich and handsome and all this other stuff. And it ends with her freaking out because the balls touch her face. It's stupid. It's not the stupidest thing, in this movie, but it's a stupid way to start. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. You then move on to what is, by my estimation, the funniest sketch in this movie. And again, this is comparing piles of shit to each other. This pile looks a little healthier than the rest. It's still a pile of shit. It don't matter. It's called Homeschooled. It stars Levi Schrader and his wife at the time, whose name I'm blanking on, and they're talking to another couple about how they homeschooled their child, and it cuts to various scenes of them giving him the real high school experience by, treating him like an actual high school student in classes, acting like the bullies, and, then at the end of the sketch you get to see the kid, after you're seeing all this crap of his parents, like, belittling him and making him feel like a loser, that, he seems all nice and well-adjusted and like a good kid. And then he pulls out his date, who is a stuffed doll with his mother's face taped on it. It is probably the best sketch of this entire film. I liked it when I saw it in theaters. This one gave me hope. It wasn't great, but it was entertaining. And then that was it. That was the end of entertainment. Entertainment has died. The next one is called The Proposition, starring Anna Faris and Chris Pine. Pine? No. What? No. Not Chris Pine. It's Anna Faris and Chris Pratt. Anna Faris and Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt wants to propose to Anna Faris. She proposes that he poop on her. So he talks to his friends at a barbecue, and he decides he's going to do it. So he's like gouging on Mexican food and other things, because it's not about how pretty the food goes in, it's about how it looks coming out. And he's really got to go. He's drank laxatives. He's really got to go, and she's trying to make it all romantic and sensual. And finally he says, "Let me just take a shit on you," which apparently is bad. You want to poop. Poop is romantic. Shit is shit. Which is what this movie is. So she runs away. He runs outside. He gets hit by a car. He explodes. He lives, but he explodes, and she's so taken by how much poop is everywhere, she decides to marry him. It's still not that bad. It's still really, again, I'm comparing pieces of shit here. It's not, if Homeschooled was my favorite sketch, there's only one sketch in between that one and this one. This would be my top 3 sketches. Yay! And we're only, with the wraparound, 3 sketches into this thing. The catch is not the middle one either. We're 4 sketches into this. The next one is my least favorite of this entire movie. And I hate this sketch. I hate this sketch every time I've watched it now. Every time I see it referenced, I hate this sketch. It stars Kieran Culkin and Emma Stone, and Kieran Culkin is making announcements at a grocery store he works at, and Emma Stone walks in and they start arguing because they used to date, but they're sexy arguing, so everything's turning into a sexual innuendo, but the mic is on, so you hear it throughout the entire store, and then she storms off, and everyone in the store gathers around because they want to rally around him to go get the girl, and so they take his shift, and he runs out to go argue sex her. It's awful, it's stupid. I like Emma Stone. I think and Kieran Culkin, they're both real good actors. This is real shit. This is my least favorite sketch of this entire thing. Next up, we have iBabe. This one's not bad. Again, this would rank higher on my list. I actually do have a ranking system for the 12 segments of this movie, not counting the wraparound. So I might just read that through at the end. But anyways, iBabe it features Richard Gere, the dude from 30 Rock who played the Page. His name escapes me now, and Kate Bosworth, I believe is her name. Kate Bosworth, yeah. And they are executives at iBabe. They have just released a new model of iBabe, which is basically like an iPod that's in the stomach of a fully realistic-looking naked woman. And they're told that they put a vent in an opening, and the opening is in the crotch. It's a vagina vent, and kids are getting their dicks mangled by trying to fuck the vagina vent. So it's about that, and Richard Gere just plays stupid, like he doesn't get why this is a problem, and they're talking about, do we put a warning on the box? Well, nobody tries to screw any other product. Why do we need a warning? They don't have warnings to not have sex with it. And it ends up that they end up putting a barbed wire, like, underwear over it with a sign that says no, and then it goes, "I babe, don't fuck it." Like it is probably one of the funnier bits. Like it's not the most clever. It's just Richard Gere's dry wit is great, which is sad because this movie is such trash. So I babe, not that bad. Next up, we have superhero speed dating. Robin is speed dating. Oh yeah, Uma Thurman is in this because she plays Lois Lane. So Robin is speed dating. Batman shows up, scares off his date. There's apparently going to be a bomb at the speed dating place, and that's why Batman is there. Also, he's there to ruin Robin's night and cockblock him. And then Uma Thurman comes in as Lois Lane. She talks about how she broke up with Superman and that he's a creep, and then Superman shows up and tells Robin not to hit on Lois Lane, and he does creepy things, and then he leaves. And then Lois Lane leaves, and then you get, there are too many people in this movie. Christian Bale comes in as Supergirl, and Batman's hiding under the table doing a Don Quixote, not Don Quixote, no, I think it is Don Quixote, Don Juan, where he's like feeding Robin lines, but of course Supergirl can hear it, and all he's talking about is how big her bush is down in her vagina, and then they realize Penguin's there, so they go after the Penguin, and then you find out Penguin has a bomb strapped on to... Oh, Wonder Woman shows up for some reason, and who cares? Has a bomb strapped to Supergirl. Robin defuses it, he starts making out with Supergirl, and then Batman reveals that it's actually the Riddler in a Supergirl costume, and that's why she had a hairy bush, because it was concealing a penis. I hate this sketch. It's a bad sketch. The superhero things can be funny. This is just stupid. It's a bad sketch. Don't watch this sketch. Next up, you have a fake commercial for children that live inside of machines. Basically, vending machines, copy machines have children living inside of them, and you shouldn't hit the machines because it scares the children. It's just stupid. It's short. It's the best. It's the most positive thing I can give that one. It's short. Then you have Middle School Date. This one features Chloe Grace Morton, Patrick Warburton, again not on the cover, and Christopher Mintz-Plaza. Basically, Chloe Grace Morton is on a date with Christopher Oh my god, she's on a date, she gets her period, and Patrick Warburton, Christopher Mintz-Plaza, and the little brother start freaking out about what to do. Her dad shows up, who is also played by someone, and I can't remember who. And then the sketch basically ends, and she leaves. And there really isn't a conclusion. The funniest bit of this entire sketch is as Patrick Warburton is talking to his two kids, you can see outside, Chloe Grace Morton's dad doesn't want her to sit in the car because she's got blood on her pants. And he's like, she walks past the back window, and then you see her dad running through holding up a tarp for her to sit on. And it is the funniest bit, and it's just hidden in the background. That is actually a very well-done piece of comedy, and it's probably the only well-done piece of comedy in this entire movie. But it's so, like, blink and you'll miss it. It's barely worth giving this thing. And it's not a bad, overall, it's not a bad sketch. Again, comparing shit to shit, it's not that bad. After that, this one isn't on my list because it didn't count as one of the sketches, apparently. But it's a Tampax commercial. That is the funniest thing in this entire movie. It's a woman being eaten by Jaws because she had the wrong tampon in. I loved it. That's the best part of this movie. I thought it was funny. Next up, oh good, we got 4 sketches left to talk about. Next up is the sketch Happy Birthday. Johnny Knoxville is roommates with Sean William Scott. William Scott is getting ready to move out because Johnny Knoxville slept with his girlfriend, but he's going to make it up to him with a birthday present. That birthday present is Gerard Butler's face poorly CG'd over that of a little person because he's a leprechaun. And they're trying to get the pot of gold. The pot of gold shows up, but the leprechaun's brother's inside of it, and they end up killing both of the leprechauns and stealing the gold. It is a horror, it is such a bad sketch. It's not funny, it's not clever. Even the ending joke, where you find out that he caught him a fairy who gives blowjobs for gold coins. It's not funny at that point. At that point, you just want it to be done. You want this movie to be done. But you're not done yet. You still have 3 sketches left, plus anything in the wraparound that still has to happen. Next up is Truth or Dare, starring Halle Berry and Stephen Merchant. Again, not on the case. Why not? Stephen Merchant's a UK name. They would have gone to see a Stephen Merchant movie. Basically, it's 2 people on a blind date who decide to play Truth and Dare, and this is the escalation. This should have been up higher because it's such a hackneyed contraption, and this one isn't that great of one. Just because it's supposed to be a one-night date, and they escalate to plastic surgery. Which is just weird. It's a weird escalation in one night. Like, it's not even a funny escalation. It's just like you're going, what the hell? Why is this? They're so, like, escalate to murder. As weird as that one sounds, just all of a sudden in the montage of dares, all of a sudden, like, seeing Halle Berry pull out a gun and just randomly shoot someone would have been funnier than Stephen Merchant, like, haha, give her more collagen. Like, that would have been funnier. So yeah, that's what it is, just them playing Truth or Dare. Woohoo! Alright, the second to last sketch of this movie is, it's my second favorite sketch. It's called Victory's Glory. It takes place in like the 1960s, 1970s on a basketball team's locker room of an all-black basketball team, and Terrence Howard plays his coach. And instead of giving them an inspirational speech, he just points out that they're a team of all-black players going out to face a team of all-white players. And literally all they have to do is walk on the court and they're going to win. Because they're black. And the team is trying to interpret it like, teamwork! No, it's because you're black. And it actually is a fairly amusing sketch. It's not super long. The joke goes on a little, like, they could have cut a minute or 2 out of this sketch and it would have made it, like, solid. But it goes on a little long, but it still is funny. Even when they get onto the court and they're showing the game, and literally he holds up the, like, thing where he draws out the plays, and it just says you're black on it. It's a decent sketch. You know, again, it's so marred in with all the rest of this crap. It doesn't matter. If you can look it up on YouTube, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Then the credits start. And you're like, yay, it's the credits! And they're crediting each of the overall story, the wraparound in each of the 11 stories we've gotten so far, and then it shows you the credits for another story that you didn't see. I'm like, huh, that's weird. I didn't see that. And then the story starts. It's called Beazle. Beazle is Elizabeth Banks and Josh Dunham. They're a couple. And Josh Dunham has a cat. The cat is animated. If you look at the poster, which I have as the thumbnail for this video, the cat's in the poster with Josh Duhamel. The cat hates Elizabeth Banks because it wants Josh Duhamel. Because it's an animated cat, it can do things like that animated cats can do. It's also seen jerking off and shoving things up its ass for pleasure. Eventually, it tries to run Elizabeth Banks over with a car, and so Elizabeth Banks attacks it with a shovel to a children's birthday party. And that's where it ends. She's attacked by the children and stabbed for beating up the animated cat, which she points out is an animated cat, and is not a normal cat, because of the fact it's an animated cat, which might be clever, but it comes so late in this shit, and you're going, oh, it's done, I don't have to watch anymore, and then there's like nothing. It doesn't matter how good Beazle's is, it's shit, because it's not part of the main story. It just should have been up there in the rest of the movie. They shouldn't have given you hope with end credits, and then given you more shit. It's like they gave you an enema, and went, oh, we missed a little. We thought we got all of the shit out of you, but we missed this nugget, and now we need to get it out too. We need to get this nugget out too. And then you finally get the credits, and then you get the end. You know what? I'm out. I'm not ranking these stupid sketches. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving you, because they're not worth it. You heard my thoughts. You heard my opinions on the sketches themselves. Overall, this was a bad idea, and they wanted to make sequels. They had planned to make a movie 44 and a movie 45. They wanted this to be a trilogy. Who in their right mind watched one of these sketches, let alone multiple ones, put together and went, this is a good idea. This is going to be a solid hit movie that we're going to be able to franchise. I don't know. But clearly, the people who wrote this thing, because I don't want to get into the directors might have, and And there's a lot of writers. There's a ton of writers on this movie. But that's just it. Why? Why did any of these writers look and go, oh, my sketch is kind of bad. Their sketch is kind of bad. When the producers saw this movie, did they go, this is going to be a hit? No, they went, we've got all these stars. The people are going to pay to see all these stars in one movie. They don't care if it's good or bad, but it's bad. This is bad. That's a bad movie. Never watch movie 43 if you have the chance. If you have the chance. You know, if somebody goes, hey, we're going to watch movie 43, Ted has the right idea. He's running away. But if someone looks at you and goes, we're going to watch movie 43 because we heard it's bad, just be like, yes, it's bad, put on something else. There are plenty of bad movies out there. Nothing is movie 43 bad. I sat through this movie, and then I watched the deleted scene, and then I watched the other wraparound story, and I hated it. I was watching a comedy, and my face was sullen and tight because there was so little funny to be had. By the time you get to Victory's Glory, which is the last funny thing this movie has to offer, after what I said at the beginning, I said Homeschooled wasn't bad. So after that, which is the second sketch, there is so much shit and so much garbage piled onto you that you can't even break a smile by the time you get there, because your soul has been ripped out of your chest, ripped in twain and pissed on by this movie. I have no problem watching other movies featuring these actors, because these are talented actors who did a piece of shit movie. But seriously, they got the script for their scene, most likely, and when all this is a little unorthodox, and one unorthodox scene in a sketch comedy movie is fine. You can get away with 2 or 3 of them, but you cannot have all of them do it. You have to have some that are just well-written sketches. Otherwise, your audience gets sick of it. They get sick of it so fast. Movie 43 is a travesty to film, and every copy of it should be rounded up and burned. Alright, I'm done with movie 43. Next week, I hit the end. We finish this thing with the worst movie I have ever seen in my life. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what kind of rant I will go on. Given the fact I've already gone on a pretty severe and serious rant about this movie. All you have to do is go back to my movies on the unwatched shelf. Those first ones I did a year ago. All you gotta do is go back to those. Just go through my video history and find them. Just find them and watch. And you will hear me rant about All About Eve. We'll see if I can top those rants, or if maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was just really angry because of COVID and everything else that was going on, that I misjudged that movie. Or maybe it is the true piece of shit that I know it is, because so far I haven't watched anything that I was wrong about. So find out. Join me next week. Like, if you want to say you liked what I've had to say. Good for you. Comment, and I swear if you try to defend movie 43, I will hunt you down with vengeance. Because that is what will have to happen. So leave a comment if you want. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you see my video on All About Eve. And come back next week. I am Martin Prevost. This is Rank the Movies. And I'll see you next time.